All right, let's get to it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Today, in today's live stream, we are going to be starting our reviews for Ninjago Skybound Season 6. I'm excited to break into the season right off the bat. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Welcome. Lovely Tuesday morning. Already have been up for a couple of hours. I've been pretty busy today. Stood in line at the post office for about a half hour, so that's fun. But yeah, hello, everybody. Welcome. I see a lot of people joining us here today. Awesome. In case you guys are just joining us here for the first time, let me go over how the schedule works. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. And obviously, the Q&A will be coming after the episode review. The episode review will not take up the entirety of the stream, probably about 20 to 25 minutes in, and we will be updating this day by day. If there's ever a day where I cannot stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab. So yeah, starting Skybound today, very solid season. Another fan favorite following Possession. I'd say Possession is a little bit more of a fan favorite than Skybound, but Skybound is still pretty good in my opinion. I'm really excited to break into a bunch of these episodes. The first episode, though, admittedly is not the best. It's not the best Season 6 episode. There are better ones out there, but, this is just the rough start. We're just easing into it. We're going to let some of the episode pictures run in the background as we break down the plot. Then I'll talk about the good and the bad. And then finally, we will give the episode a score out of 10 once we actually get to it. So, like I said, this episode isn't the best episode ever, not the best season premiere, but still very solid, I'd say. There's still a bunch of stuff going on here that I enjoy, and let's just go ahead and break right into it. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. I know in terms of videos on my end, it's been kind of hectic. Trying to edit my City Gardens review isn't going super well. Came across a bunch of difficulties, but now it's finally being uploaded. It will be up later today, so stick around for that. But yeah, let's just get right into it here. We'll break down the plot first. So the episode begins with kind of like a dark, shadowy scene, I'd say. It kind of is a mysterious type of alleyway type area, I suppose, and we see Jay attacking what appears to be a Skulkin. Now, right off the bat, it's just kind of like, okay, why are they fighting skeletons? As more and more time goes on, more and more ninja and skeletons themselves join the battle until Samakai shows up, and then Lloyd comes in and kind of finishes the job, and he pretty much saves the entire day. The Golden Scroll is received by the ninja, of course, and they enforce the power of reading and why it's important. So, yeah, they're doing a commercial. None of this is real. The commercial cuts, and Dareth is the director of this. Following Possession, it's been made very clear that the ninja are kind of celebrities now, because now they're finally famous. I mean, after saving the world how many times before, after Possession, they're finally famous? I suppose Possession was the largest scale battle that the ninja have ever done, so I suppose they would be kind of famous and kind of celebrities at this point. Of course, with Dareth, though, being their manager, it's not the best thing ever. Dareth is an awful manager, especially towards Nia. He kind of tells Nia to kind of stick around to like teach girls how to apply makeup and stuff, and that's not cool. I think Dareth's kind of a not so good word for doing that kind of stuff. I can't really say the word that I want to say on stream, because then I'll get demonetized. But still, I mean, Nia is part of the group now. She is a ninja, and obviously he doesn't treat her like an equivalent ninja. He kind of treats her like the girl ninja. And of course, we know that Nia is going to be super upset about that. So, but yeah, the ninja are famous, like I said, and the ninja are kind of used to that at this point. Some of the ninja are taking advantage of it, especially Kai. Kai's super into it. Lloyd really isn't, and Cole's just kind of confused over what's going on. But yeah, it's definitely not good on Dareth's side there. Nia is going to be taking a very center stage role this season, and Dareth is probably not going to like that. So, yeah, we get a little montage of the ninja's fame. They're being chased by crowds of people, paparazzi, so they need to hide a lot. So that's fun. We get to see the ninja try to live the normal life of a celebrity, and it's not something that they're super used to. They got to deal with fake news and crowds and stuff, and it's just a big mess. We then cut to Cole on the Destiny's Bounty. He is training with Master Wu, trying to, I guess, find a few more secrets about his ghost powers, his new ghost form, and he finds out that he can turn invisible. So he's super excited about this, and he goes to tell Jay and Zane, who are playing chess on the deck, and Jay and Zane are also having their own conversation about Jay's future. Of course, in Season 5's reflection, Jay saw his future with Nia, and Cole couldn't see a future at all, and the actual reflections are kind of discussed here. Cole believes that because he couldn't see his reflection, it was just the future telling him that he has the ability to turn invisible, which I don't buy for a second, but, if that's the actual explanation, I guess, so-so. But Jay is really upset because he knows that Nia Nia ends up with him. He knows that they end up together, but at this point, Nia wants nothing to do with him. Nia is her own woman, obviously, but she still is kind of like, I don't know, she's just kind of irritated about being, I guess, associated with anyone. She wants to be independent, and Jay, of course, is kind of feeling the repercussions of that. Love that Zane doesn't really care about winning and just likes playing chess. Yeah, Zane's awesome. I can very much see Jay and Zane going at the chess games for like hours on end. That's definitely something that I can see. But yeah, Nia's not happy, and she's taking her anger out on some of the training dummies. She gets kind of talked to by Misako about that kind of stuff. And with that being said, there's a little bit of an alert there. The ninja have danger, so they rush to the bridge, and Wu kind of fills them in. Turns out, when the cursed realm was destroyed, one ghost escaped, and that, of course, was Klaus. Klaus is kind of free, and he's rummaging through, trying to get a train ticket to go to Styx for some unknown reason. So the ninja need to beat Klaus to Styx and try to figure out what exactly he's doing there. Klaus is a ghost, obviously, and that's kind of cool. So the ninja decide to head out to stop him. They all use their dragons. We get to see Nia's elemental water dragon, which is really cool. I'm happy that we finally saw Nia's dragon. Looks awesome there. And they kind of decide to take a little detour to see the purple ninja, Little Nelson, who's broken both of his legs and is now getting the ninja to visit him as a request of the Ninjago equivalent of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I thought that was cool. Obviously, they kind of argue over whether or not they have time for this. They decide that they do, and they decide to swing down to Nelson. Nelson's a cool character. I really like Nelson. He's the purple ninja. You can't really hate the purple ninja. I know there's been a couple of comments in the chat before, since the stream has started, talking about Nelson in a negative light. I don't think that Nelson deserves that. He's cool. He's a cool character. I hope that he actually does become like an official ninja one day. Maybe he could get some powers at some point and maybe come on in and join the team. That'd be fun. When I was younger, I made a custom purple ninja who at that time was the master of water, because water did not exist in Ninjago yet. This was around the time of season 3 rebooted, so I made a custom purple ninja, spray painted him, and now we see the official purple ninja in the show. And of course, he's not a master of water. He's not a master of anything. He's the master of keeping the ninja safe from the paparazzi who have found out that they're actually at the hospital. So yeah, the ninja need to escape there. Nelson kind of holds them off, and the ninja escape to the rooftop. They dubbed Nelson an honorary ninja for the day, and that's just awesome. Love Nelson. He's so cool. I love him so much. Kind of sad that he got kind of pushed out of the series for a little bit there. He was supposed to appear in Day of the Departed. In case you guys didn't know, he was supposed to be Cole's partner in crime. We actually got a set kind of dedicated to that aspect of Day of the Departed, but it never ended up making it into the final product. So kind of unfortunate, but at least we're seeing him nowadays in season 11. So yeah, big shout out to Little Nelson. He's awesome. But yeah, the ninja escape on the rooftop, and here we see a little bit of an argument between Jay and Nia. All the ninja air jitsu behind a billboard to hide from the helicopters, but Nia can't, obviously, because she doesn't know air jitsu yet. Jay tries to help her, and Nia kind of instantly, I guess, rejects his help, which I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's at one point you kind of feel bad for Jay. I mean, I understand where Nia's coming from. She's kind of sick of being excluded, and she wants to be more independent while also being part of the team. But at the same time, Jay's just trying to help, and I kind of feel bad. I kind of agree with Cole, because Cole kind of takes Jay's side here, and it just kind of escalates into a really big argument about how Nia's no one's girl. Eventually, they do get caught by a helicopter, but it turns out, though, the helicopter was flown by Dareth, or at least Dareth is on the helicopter. He decides to pick up the ninja once he learns about the mission, and he decides to bring them to Styx. Meanwhile, speaking of Styx, we cut to Styx, and Klaus is there kind of digging around in the rubble until he finds what he's looking for. He finds a mysterious-looking teapot, decides to poke around at it, and releases Nadakhan the Jinn, the big bad guy of this season. And Nadakhan is such a cool villain, I will say that. Such an evil, kind of maniacal villain. I'd say he's done more damage to the ninja than any other villain. Of course, all of his damage was kind of reversed at the end, but still, I really like Nadakhan, and this is his big first introduction. Now, Klaus decides to try to, I guess, take advantage of Nadakhan. With Nadakhan being a Jinn, it's kind of the same rules as a genie, except a little bit more sinister. You do get 3 wishes, except, as I said, it's a little bit more sinister, a little bit more evil. So Klaus decides to use his 3 wishes. He first wishes for his spell book, and of course Nadakhan grants his wish, gives Klaus the spell book, and it instantly burns, because Nadakhan's like, ooh, didn't you know it was last seen burnt? And Klaus is like, all right, well, that's not very cool. Then he wishes to be mortal again, so Nadakhan decides to make him mortal, but the process is super painful for Klaus, and he can't really withstand it. So Nadakhan, I guess, utters the famous last words, why don't you just wish it all away? Which Klaus does. Klaus is then trapped in the teapot, and Nadakhan is now free, and he's about ready to play some catch up here. We kind of see him visiting Ninjago City, disguised as a random citizen. I think he looks really funny though, as just like a random citizen. We need that to be a minifigure. But yeah, Nadakhan plays catch up. He meets with like a Dr. Borg kind of a program guide thing, just a robot in the city, and he kind of explains the backstory and the lore behind Nadakhan. Kind of explains where Nadakhan's crew went, how they are separated in different realms, and that the realm crystal is a way to access the realms. So interesting. We also get a little hint towards Nadakhan's one true love, Dalara. Dalara is dead in the canon of the show, but Nadakhan, of course, is kind of still hoping that Dalara is out there somewhere. That'll kind of play into the story later on. But yeah, Nadakhan's cool, kind of plays some catch up, and he decides what he needs to do here. The realm crystal, of course, is going to be heavily protected by the ninja if they need to protect it, so Nadakhan kind of eyes the ninja, realizes what must be done there. Get rid of the ninja, get rid of any chance of defense for the realm crystal. Good stuff there. Meanwhile, we cut back to the ninja, and they can't find Klaus anywhere. They're in sticks, kind of lurking around in their casual outfits. They do find a lot of Kai dolls, though. Kai's action figure isn't selling as well as he would wish, and they're kind of everywhere. So that's fun. But no, then they see some news broadcast on the TV that shows the ninja kind of vandalizing, stealing, just overall not being good people. The ninja are kind of confused over what this is and how this could be, since they're all right there. They know that they didn't do anything about that. I feel bad for Jay's parents because they kind of get interviewed by the news, and it's like, well, they don't know that it's not their kid. You know what I'm saying? It's Nadakhan in disguise trying to frame the ninja so that they can be led astray and he can go steal the realm crystal without any conflict. So that's fun. But the ninja pretty much get recognized right away by some of the people on sticks as well, and a chase ensues. The cops get involved, and they're kind of defenseless until Masako shows up with the bounty, kind of lets them know about the current situation. Unfortunately for Masako, the bounty easily gets taken down by the police, and the ninja have no choice but to split up and go their separate ways. That'll play into the storyline later on in the next episode and episodes to follow, but the episode ends with Wu kind of sifting through a couple of books in the library, and then Nadakhan shows up behind him and decides to confront him, and that's where the episode comes to a close. So the episode itself, again, there's a lot of plot points here that I really do enjoy. There's a lot of stuff that I think is going to go places, obviously, in the next couple of episodes. This episode had pretty good setup, and let's go ahead and get into some of the good and the bad. How does Nadakhan impersonate the ninja, and why does he need to use that power again? Well, Nadakhan impersonates the ninja, I believe it's just his powers as a djinn. I mean, with that, he could easily frame the ninja, and as I said, like, the realm crystal is kind of going to be defended by the ninja at any chance, so distract the ninja, it's easy to steal the realm crystal that way, which of course is Nadakhan's big plan. As for why he doesn't use that power again, who's to say? I think he just used it because that's all he needed to. He just needed it for this specific moment. I'm sure it's some type of djinn trick, perhaps. But yeah. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of good stuff is Nadakhan himself. Nadakhan's awesome. I really love Nadakhan the Djinn. As I said, he's probably the Ninjago villain that kind of how do you say it? He's kind of the Ninjago villain that kind of did the most damage, I'd say. If the timeline was not reversed at the end of Skybound, Nadakhan's reign over Ninjago would have long-lasting effects. Half the ninja team would be out of commission, and the city itself wouldn't be great. I mean, with stuff falling out of the sky, it's very clear that Nadakhan had a huge impact on Ninjago. So Nadakhan's introduction here was done really well. Disguise himself as Borg in the next episode. Alright, so I guess he does use it again. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've watched Skybound, so rewatching these, I might get a couple of things incorrect, so feel free to correct me in the chat if you would like. I'm excited to watch Skybound again, though. But yeah, Nadakhan's a very dangerous villain. We also get a little bit of hint towards the reflections of sorts from Season 5, which of course don't really play a large role in the series nowadays, but in Skybound we kind of get Jay's, I guess, interpretation of his reflection with Nia's future going along with his, and Cole's reflection as well. I thought that was really cool. Very nice continuity between seasons there, and of course Possession kind of hinted towards Skybound as well, so kind of got that cross promotion going on there. I thought that was really cool. Speaking of Jay and Nia, lots of Jay and Nia hints in this episode. Obviously this season is going to focus on their relationship and how they feel about one another, and here we're seeing the downfall of that. After Nia's true potential, she kind of grew a little more independent, and she's come to, I guess, be annoyed by Jay and the other ninja trying to, I guess, guess, take her under their wing and try to help her in any way. She's not a fan of that, and we get to see a little bit more of how their relationships, starting off really rocky in this season, but eventually it will, I guess, round out itself and become, I guess, a pretty solid relationship when it's all said and done. This episode is not showcasing that, though. Also, we see Klaus back. Klaus is cool for what he does. It's fun to see Klaus back. Obviously, after Skybound gets done, Klaus is going to be the main villain of the Dark Island trilogy, which is a story set in between Skybound and Day of the Departed. Here, Klaus doesn't do a whole lot. He just kind of shows up, releases Nadakhan, and then immediately regrets it. I thought that was cool because it showcased how ruthless Nadakhan is, and it kind of shows him one-upping a previous Ninjago villain. So I think that just goes to show that Nadakhan is indeed very dangerous. Thought that was super cool. Also, we kind of get a little bit of a play here towards the whole Wanted storyline. I remember when Skybound was first coming out, I was really excited to see why the ninja were, I guess, trying to be arrested or whatever. I was very excited to see what would lead to the ninja being wanted fugitives. And of course, the actual result isn't what I was expecting. I remember predicting that after possession, maybe Ninjago themselves are kind of upset for the ninja destroying Styx and destroying an entire realm and killing a bunch of people, so maybe that would be the reason why they're wanted by the authorities. But no, it's just because Nadakhan framed them, which I suppose works. Obviously, it's not the major plot line in this season. It's not the overarching story here, but I think it should have been. I thought that that storyline started out here pretty strong, but it ends within the next few episodes, and there's not really any serious repercussions of this. I think it'd be really cool to have an entire season, I guess, kind of focused on the ninja being wanted fugitives. I always thought that would have been pretty cool, but Skybound kind of toys with that idea. But yeah, Nadakhan frames them, and that's all it is. So interesting. Also, I need to give a big shout out to Nelson. We kind of talked about him earlier, but little Nelson is awesome in this episode. One of the first episodes that we see him in. Super cool. He's a cool character. Helps out the ninja a lot. He deserves a spot on the ninja team. Changing my mind. Also, I just need to give a quick mention to the Airjitsu suits. Some of my favorite suits. The Airjitsu suits I've seen kind of what do you say? I've kind of seen a little bit of a mixed reception towards these suits in the community. Some people absolutely love the Airjitsu suits, and some people absolutely don't. I don't know why. I can't really see why anyone would hate the Airjitsu suits. To me, they're some of Ninjago's best, but everyone's got their own opinions, etc., etc. But this is the first time that we see those suits, except for Nia, of course, because she has not reached her Airjitsu title just yet, so she does not get a new suit. She's still in her possession suit, which of course is fair. A couple of bad things to talk about here. As I said, this episode is not perfect. Couple of bad things that I need to point out. First of all, the ninja being famous. I don't know how I feel about that storyline. The episode itself just kind of treats it interestingly, I guess. Kai comes off as super arrogant because he's famous now. He kind of is obsessed with fame, while the other ninja kind of don't really care. Some of them care, some of them don't. I thought it was interesting to see how each ninja kind of deals with that, but I don't know. It's kind of like an awkward way to start off the season. As I said, the ninja have saved the world multiple times, so why just now are they suddenly getting famous? I mean, especially after things like Chen's invasion. I suppose though that the preeminence invasion of Styx was probably again the biggest thing ever, but I don't know, something about the ninja being famous and the actual reflection on Ninjago, because of that it just kind of felt a little awkward to me. I really don't like Dareth as well. Let me just say that Dareth in this episode, kind of the reason why I just don't like his character. You guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of Dareth. Yeah, this episode doesn't do him any favors. He kind of treats Nia differently just because she's a girl, and that's not super great. Obviously you can't be doing that kind of stuff. That's not cool at all. So Dareth, yeah, it definitely drops a lot lower than what I had him initially. I kind of forgot how awful Dareth actually is in this season. Yeah, it's not super great. Dareth is not a good. Yeah, don't be a Dareth. that statement kind of means more now than it ever has been. Do not be a Dareth. Also, I need to talk about Nia a little bit too. I just kind of defended Nia, but at the same time, she kind of goes a little over the edge in this episode. I understand where she's coming from, but especially with the bit where Jay was just trying to help her hide. I mean, it's like, come on. Jay's just trying to help you. You don't need to be like that to him. Eventually, I just kind of feel bad for Jay and feel bad for the ninja in general because, Nia's kind of not being that much of a team player. Of course, she has, joined the team and she's not really a samurai anymore. I can understand how that identity crisis might shift her personality a little bit and shift her morals, but when your teammates try to help you, you kind of got to take that. You can't be like that towards them. So Dareth is probably my least favorite thing about this episode. I don't really like Nia's character either. Nia, I'm kind of mixed on this on this episode, in my opinion. I don't know. She's just in some instances I agree with her. some people or some instances I just don't. It's just awkward to me. But I thought that was worth mentioning. Eventually, as I said, you just kind of feel bad for Jay. But yeah, overall though, this episode was very good. Still reeling from what Dareth did to her. Yeah, I can accept that. Again, I don't really agree with that. I think Dareth is really not a great person for doing that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it wasn't Jay's fault, so I'm not so sure how to feel about that. We'll see more development between Jay and Nia later on. In the meantime, though, this episode was a very solid premiere for Skybound. Not my favorite season premiere ever, but still introduces a very ruthless villain in Nadakhan and also sets up the ninja story as well. So overall, from everything I said in this review, I'm going to go ahead and give the episode a final score of an 8 out of 10. I think that's fair for the negatives that I had to point out. I think it's like a fair score, but let me see what you guys got for scores. I'm curious to see how you guys would rate this episode. Next, with a $1.99 donation, thank you very much. Basically, Kai has it own Lego. With his figures or his little dolls. Yeah, I kind of want a Kai doll. Couple 8s, couple 9s, 7, 9.5. Lost points for Dareth. I don't blame you. Dareth is not a good person. A Kai doll out of 10. Couple 7s, 6s. Yeah, they need to make Kai dolls. I guess they kind of do. They make like those like plushy ninja pillows. Kind of weird though. Couple 8s. We got a bruh. 6 out of 10. Not a lot of 10s out of 10s. 0 out of 10 because Nelson ruins it. I would agree. There's a couple of 10s. Go Nelson. Very mixed on Nelson. From what I can tell, it's just one guy that absolutely hates Nelson. Everyone else is just kind of indifferent. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my review of Infamous. What is the next episode called? I need to look that up. Bear with me. But yeah, we will talk about that tomorrow. I'm just not really, I can't remember what it's called. Public Enemy number 1. Okay, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Public Enemy number 1 is going to be tomorrow's review, and that'll pretty much wrap up my review for Infamous. So thanks a lot for sticking with me throughout that review. I'm really excited for more Skybound stuff. Again, rewatching Skybound. Have not watched this season in a very long time, so I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the season. Of course, though, with the stream, that's not all we got. We're going to jump into some Q's and A's right now. And I also did input season 14 pictures too. So again, they are kind of blurry because there's no official HD render for season 14's trailer just yet. So you're gonna have to bear with me here. Once we actually get a little bit more of a clearer trailer, I will go back through and take screenshots of that. So when will I upload next today? My videos always go up because like what time zone am I in? Central time. My videos always go up. I try to upload at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. So the next video will be up in approximately 2.5 hours, and that should be the Ninjago City Gardens review. So excited for that. That review ended up being about 44 minutes long. So it's a 45-minute episode. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the island. There's been a whole bunch of debate regarding the island, whether or not it's an actual season or a special. I personally don't really care what it is at this point. I'm just really excited to see this story. I think it's going to be awesome. Love the ninja suits. Love, love, love the ninja suits. Usually there's a suit or two in the lineup that kind of gets on my nerves and I don't really care for, but no, in this season, like every ninja looks good. So I want 8K pic. Yeah, I mean, I'm always kind of a stickler for picture quality, I guess, but in the Ninjago community, I've kind of learned to adapt because with the Ninjago community, HD isn't a thing half the time. So, but yeah, the suits are awesome. I'm going to be filming a video later today ranking the suits because that's something that you guys said that you wanted to see. So that video will be up either tomorrow or the next day. So stay tuned for that. But no, I think they look great. New suits kind of remind me of the Hands of Time suits. Yeah, I feel like they're kind of like a crossover between, like, if you merged Hands of Time with like the techno robes, I think you would get these suits, which I think is really good. In my opinion, they look a lot better than the Hands of Time suits or the fusion suits. So I don't know, the fusion suits I'm kind of iffy about, honestly, kind of mixed. I like some of the complexity, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like some of them just kind of overdo it. But yeah, no, these suits are like best of both worlds, and I think they look awesome. My only gripe with the suits is that I wish that Zane and Nia had headbands, but I understand why they don't. Nia doesn't have a headband because she already has the ponytail in her color, and then Zane probably doesn't have a headband because they just made the new titanium hairpiece for Zane this year. So they're probably not going to remake it with a headband. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. I understand why they don't. Again, with Zayn not having a headband either, it's also because his hair is not authentic hair. So, gotta take that into consideration too. But he still could have wrapped a headband around his head just to be consistent. He still wears like a ninja mask like the others, even though he doesn't really need to because he's a robot. So, who's to say? Have I seen the season 4 Legacy JMech? Yes, I have, and it is not looking good. I'm really tempted to buy the set just to do like a really angry review of it, because that set isn't great. I understand it's a junior set, but nah, not for me. I don't like Dareth, but do I like any of his figures? I think the figures are fine. I like the figure that came out in Rebooted's wave in that little poly bag. That's probably the best one. He also had one in the Airjitsu Temple, and that one's not as good in my opinion. I really don't like the face. I think the face for the original Dareth figure is much more show accurate. But yeah, I do have both of those. I think there's only two Dareth figures, unless he came in a different set that I'm forgetting about. But I think there's only two Dareths, and I have both of them. So I don't know. The fingers are okay. I don't hate Dareth's design or anything. I just don't like his personality. Yeah, we also see Clutch Powers. Speaking of personalities that people hate, we get Clutch Powers in the next season. It's gonna be fun. He came in the docks as well. Yeah, I don't have the docks, so unless I'm missing something. Three Dareths Ninjago City docks. Yeah, I never got the docks. I never got the Ninjago City. Never got the docks. Is it a different Dareth or is he wearing like something different? I need to look this up now. Ninjago City Docks Dareth. Because I know there's like a Dareth figure where he's wearing like one of these Spinjitzu training outfits or whatever. I'm not going to be super concerned about that. Is that the one that comes in the docks? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm not super concerned about getting that one. It's the same face as the one from the Ujitsu Temple, I think. Yeah, but with the black Spinjitzu training suit. Yeah, I'm not going to bother getting that one. That's not really super show accurate. Um, yeah, with my figure collection, I try to look for show accurate stuff um, more than anything. And yeah, that figure is an example of something that I probably would not bother getting. But it does count as another Dareth figure, so just not one that I need in my collection. Do I like Clutch Powers? He's okay. I remember watching the Clutch Powers movie when I was a kid, like that original Lego movie, like the first, like the actual official Lego movie, the first one. You know, even though Bionicle had a couple of movies beforehand. But no, Clutch Powers is okay. He's definitely a lot better than Dareth in Ninjago. I'm glad that they actually introduced him though, because he was referenced all the way back in season 1. So we always knew that Clutch Powers was kind of around and in the world. So I'm glad that they finally showed him. There's a 4K trailer which looks really good picture quality. Yeah, I mean people say that it's like 4K HD or whatever, but the actual picture quality, in my experience, kind of looks the same. If you guys wanted to send me links to like better resolution trailers, feel free to. Links are in the description for my contact information if you guys want to send me that kind of stuff. But more than likely, we're just going to keep the images that we have right now. Um, we don't have an official trailer yet from Lego, so it's not in the best quality that it could be. Do I ship Garsaka, what Garmadon and Masako? Yeah, I do. I like them a lot better than Masako and Wu. I always thought that ship was kind of creepy. And what was that noise? I think two of my cats are hissing at each other out in the hallway. That's not cool. Yeah, the cats sometimes get into little fights, little skirmishes. No one gets seriously hurt, but we hear hissing and we have like a little spritz bottle, so we kind of shut that down really quick. Clutch Powers had a movie. Yeah, Clutch Powers isn't like a Ninjago original character. He like had his own movie way back in the day, like I think 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. And it was an animated movie about Clutch Powers and his friends kind of traveling throughout all of the different Lego worlds and whatnot. It was really cool. We got different themes like Power Miners in there. A lot of classic like mid 2000s themes make an appearance. It's not the best movie ever. Some of the animation's kind of iffy, but I'm sure you guys could find it on YouTube if you genuinely wanted to watch it. What color is Waffle? Waffle's like a brownish, grayish color. She's kind of a lot of colors. Like you flip her over and her belly is like a really light brown, and then her back is like dark brown. Her feet are like black. So she's a bunch of different colors. She's like Nia. She can't really decide what color she wants to be. Um, 2009, right when Ninjago was beginning its making. Yeah, Ninjago was first conceived all the way back in 2009, and a lot of the old concept art is really cool. Obviously, the Serpentine were kind of the first developed villains for Ninjago, but the skeletons were the first ones that we saw. But the Serpentine had been planned for a very long time. Waffle looks like Meowthra. Yeah, she really does. I have the Ninjago City Gardens on my desk, and she crawls on my desk every now and then. And sometimes it's like the Ninjago movie, like recreating those scenes with the giant cat kind of terrorizing the city. It kind of feels that way because she tries to jump over the city gardens to get on my desk, and I doubt she's going to be able to make that jump. I'm worried she's going to slam into it one day and it's all just going to go on the floor. Who's Waffle, not the food? Now, Waffles is the name of one of my 3 cats. We got 3 kitties around the apartment, and we got Waffle. She's one of them. She's the one that comes in here a lot, and you guys see on streams are kind of here in the background, knocking stuff over and being annoying. But we also got Blaze, who's kind of like an orange cat, and then we got Momo, who's a little black kitty, and they're all really cool. Blaze kind of gets along with both of them, but Waffle and Momo do not get along very well. Sometimes they hang out and it's kind of cute, but most of the time they just get into fights. Did Nia do the Spinjitzu burst in season 5 because it looked like that, not a true potential? No, that was her true potential. I know that it kind of looked a little different than some of the other ninja, but I think that's just how the water true potential works and how that looks. All of the ninjas' true potentials are a little different, but I do agree it does look very similar to what Cole used in season 13 with the Spinjitzu burst. Speaking of which, why don't we jump over to season 13, just kind of switching it up a little bit. But no, with the Spinjitzu burst, I'm sure that we might see Nia do something similar, maybe later on this year in the summertime wave. But I'm not sure if it'll be the same thing. Spinjitzu burst is kind of a gray area. The show doesn't really want to give it a specific element. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that suggests that the Spinjitzu burst is very much specific to the earth element, but it very well could be anything. I mean, they do kind of explain that if an elemental master is surrounded by his or her purest form of their elements, they can access it. So in Nia's case, that would probably be the deepest part of the ocean. So we might see that. What do I think will be the saddest scene in 2021? Well, right now I kind of have a theory that Jay is going to be quote unquote killed or sacrificed. I have a theory that he's going to be, I guess, sacrificed, but he's going to make it out of there, and the ninja won't know that. So I feel like the ninja grieving over Jay's alleged loss might be the saddest scene, especially in terms of Nia's case. Hate how Izor is the only season 4 legacy villain in the sets. Yeah, me too. Um, and then we get the juniors Electromech, and guess who's in there? Izor. I don't know what the deal is with that. Why is it just Izor? I have enough Izors. I'm sick of seeing him. We need a Klaus. We need a Chen. We need someone else at least. Like, where's Kapow and Chop? Where are they? I'm tired of seeing Izor. I do agree with that. Gonna make a headband that says "Don't be a Dareth." I'm toying with a couple of t-shirt designs. We got a lot going on though right now in terms of just videos and my real life stuff kind of getting in the way. But I do have ideas for shirts, and I'm kind of working on designs for not only a "Don't be a Dareth" shirt, but I want to make a "Don't be a Dareth" shirt. I want to make a "Be a Clancy" shirt, and then I want to talk about or showcase some of the art that we made art using that word very loosely in the 10-hour stream, the MS Paint Ninja. You guys said you wanted to see that as a shirt, so we're working on that. It's probably going to be the worst shirt ever, but you guys want it, so I will deliver. But yeah, we're kind of working on those couple of designs right now. What season do I think the animation was the best? I kind of want to say maybe the Oni trilogy. I think the animation in the Oni trilogy is really solid. It's kind of like a blend between the older style and the new style. And I see the Oni trilogy as like a middle ground of sorts. I feel like they had the best animation, especially in terms of lighting and dramatic effects. The elemental powers all looked incredible. That's something that I kind of have an issue with the newer seasons. The elemental powers don't look as polished as they did. Like when Kai shoots off a fire blast, it doesn't look as good. But I do agree that the newer animation is a lot more fluid, and when the ninja fight, it looks a lot cooler. They kind of take from that from the anime art style a little bit, or various forms of anime with the fight scenes. I would say it's a lot more fluid, a lot more 2D. I would say, but now the Oni trilogy is easily like middle ground for me in terms of animation, story. It's a very solid middle. What do I think of Rebooted? Rebooted's cool. I remember being super excited for it back in the day. Not my favorite season, not my least favorite. Kind of a little above average, I'd say. But let's go ahead and actually switch to Rebooted. Um, I don't know. It's a very short season. The only thing that I didn't like about Rebooted was the airing schedule, at least in terms of the US, because we only had 2 episodes like every 3 months when they were coming out. Obviously, that's not a fault of the show. It's Cartoon Network's really poor planning and scheduling, but it just kind of made it obnoxious to watch Rebooted because you had to wait like 3 months. You got 2 episodes, and then you had to wait 3 months, and then here's the next 2 episodes. It's very awkward. Very awkward way to spread out 8 episodes over the course of a year, but hey, that's Cartoon Network for you. And I suppose what else could you have done? I mean, Ninjago was not expected to come back after the final battle, so rebooted was kind of like kind of like DLC, I'd say. You know what I'm saying? It's like here's seasons 1 and 2, here's an extra story that's only 8 episodes. It's kind of like that, I guess. But no, I still think rebooted's cool. Do I think they will go through the OG Elemental Masters in later Ninjago seasons? We've kind of got a little bit of history with some of them, like Rei and Maya's history was kind of explored in Hands of Time. We don't know a whole lot about Jay's birth mother. I think we will see that at some point before the series is over. We got a little bit related to Cole's mom in season 13, of course, and obviously with Zane's power. The original Ice Master is not related to Zane in any way that we know of. Um, I don't know, but with the original Ice Master, I'm sure that we'll see his story at some point too. Do I like Mortessa and Jade together? Not really. I thought it was a nice wholesome moment though in season 13. I thought that was kind of cute and wholesome, but I don't ship them. It's an inoffensive pairing, but it's just not my ideal ship. I prefer Jay with Nia, of course. Do Vermilion count as Serpentine? I guess technically they do. I've been kind of keeping them out of my own headcanon, but I suppose in the show the Vermilion, I guess technically count as Serpentine. It's kind of a gray area as well. I personally don't consider them to be Serpentine, but in the context of the show, I think it's kind of accurate, but don't know how much I agree with that. Uh, yeah, Cole's grandfather definitely. I want to get a little bit more of his story too. Ninja's ages. Lloyd is older than Nia, but younger than the ninja, because Tomorrow he changed his age, but not his birthday. Yeah, ages in the Ninjago, the Ninjago scene are very, very fuzzy. At this point, I still think Lloyd is the youngest. I think Nia is maybe a little bit older than Lloyd, even still, but it can't be by that much. And again, with ages, with like an actual number, we don't have an exact number. We have a few, I guess, numbers of distance between the ages. Like I think Kai is supposed to be like 2 or 3 years older than Nia. But we don't have exact numbers relating to their age. We don't know how old Kai is, how old Jay is, etc., etc. So at this point, like Tommy Andreasen just kind of came out and he's like, you know what? You can just make up your own thing. Like it doesn't matter how old they are. Just make up your own ages for the ninja and it'll be fine. So in my head canon, all the ninja are kind of the same age as me, kind of early 20s at this current point in time. At least that's what I'm going with. You guys are free to come up with whatever, obviously. Um, Lloyd and Nia have the same age. That's kind of what I've thought too. I think Nia's just maybe a tiny bit older than Lloyd, just a little bit. Um, but yeah, obviously with the age, it's just up to our own interpretation. Unless the show actually says something specific in later seasons, which I'd be really upset if they come out and it's like, oh yeah, we're all 16 years old. Nah, like you're telling me that the entirety of the series has happened in like what, less than like 2 or 3 years? Not buying it. I suppose we did get an exact number in the Ninjago movie. In the Ninjago movie, Lloyd is 16 and all the other ninja are still in high school as well, so anywhere between 16 and 18. But again, that's the movie. Does not pertain to the show at all. But I suppose you could use it as reference if you so desired. I personally don't because again, no correlation there. Completely separate universes. Which season is my favorite? Tournament's my favorite season by far. Tournament's always kind of been my favorite, and a couple of seasons have come close. Like Sons of Garmadon came very close to topping um, season 4, but no, season 4 is still my favorite. My top 3 are season 4, season 8, and season 13. um, what does Kai like to change clothes very quickly in season 1? Just because Kai can. He can do that kind of stuff. I thought the ninja was kind of fun, or the ninja were kind of funny in this episode of Skybound, going into phone booths. I was half expecting them to change into their civilian attire, but they didn't. Did I see episode 3 of WandaVision? I did. I thought it was not as good as the first two. I think the first episode is still my favorite, but 2 and 3 aren't bad. I think WandaVision is going to end really crazy. So, do I think Lou and Cliff wanted to wait 20 some years before having children? I mean, some people do that. Like yeah, like some people would do that. Like say in the Serpentine War, for example, if the modern day kind of takes place 40 years after the Serpentine War, Rey and Maya were still in the Serpentine War, presumably the same age as the ninja, so say probably around like 20 or so. 20 years pass, they have Kai and Nia. Cut 40 years to the modern day, Kai's 20 and Nia's like a certain age or whatever. It makes sense to me. I know some people would wait a long time. Of course, it kind of depends on the person and various health and whatnot. I'm not going to get into like the whole physicality of birth and that kind of stuff. But I've seen people do it. I could see the timeline working out like that if the ninja were all in their early 20s right now. So again, just my headcanon, the show's timeline is messed up. So it's super inconsistent. What do I think the saddest moment is? Well, right away, I want to go to Zane's sacrifice and reboot it. But also, Garmadon's sacrifice is very upsetting. The whole Moro and Wu bit in Possession is very sad. Nia dying in Skybound is very sad. Every single season has kind of like a sad moment, I'd say. But I think Zane's sacrifice is probably the go-to of the saddest moments. Why don't we switch over? What? I'm trying to think. What haven't we done in a while? um, why don't we go to season 2? I don't think we've done season 2 in a minute, so we'll do that. Golden Zane and the minifigure legacy pack is essentially the series 3 torso but gold. Yeah, exactly. I thought they did a good job at replicating that. It's not the exact same print, it's just meant to look like it. I've kind of compared the two. It's not the exact same, but it does work out. Thoughts on The Mandalorian? It's good so far. Some of the episodes are a little better than others, and in some cases I find myself, kind of bored, but it's still fine, still good. I've only seen maybe the first 5 episodes, I want to say, so I still got a long ways to go, and we're still kind of working our way through it. But I've been trying to watch it because I've heard good things about it, and I want to watch it. Don't know how I feel about the baby Yoda though. I get why he's appealing, but it's just like I could do without. I think the Mandalorian is like the main focus there, or the thing that I focus on the most. Let's see. Garmadon's sacrifice should have been more upsetting and emotional. Yeah, I can see that. I can see why you would say that. Like Garmadon's sacrifice, like Lloyd kind of dives off the bounty because he's like, no, you can't sacrifice yourself or whatever. He jumps off the bounty, has a little bit of a teenage edgelord moment, emotional flashbacks, and comes back on the bounty immediately after and decides, you know what, I'm gonna send you off, Garmadon. Yeah, I can understand why some people wouldn't care for that as much, but I think it was more noble than anything. I don't think it was super sad and emotional like some other sacrifices. While it was sad and emotional, I think it was more noble than anything. Like Garmadon, tried to make up for his flaws. Zane just did it to save his friends, which of course isn't a bad thing. That makes it even more sad and depressing. But Garmadon's sacrifice, I'd say, was a little more, I guess, deserving, I suppose, especially with everything that he did in the past. He was trying to make up for it, so I guess that's how I would put it. Just my own thing. Star Wars copied Ninjago. I'd say it's the other way around. Like, as much as I dislike a lot of the stuff that I see in Star Wars, you gotta admit, Ninjago kind of takes a lot of inspiration from Star Wars in a lot of different ways. Ninjago is kind of an unholy crossover of Bionicle, Star Wars, and the original 90s Ninja line. I'd say if you take all those, put them in a blender, you got Ninjago. There's a lot of Ninjago stuff that I see that's very similar to Bionicle in a lot of ways. So. The mechanic is one of Soda's crew. How did he lose his arm? Maybe in like a side mission or whatever. Maybe sometime in between seasons. Like we don't know what he's been doing. He was kind of like jumping from street gang to street gang, various criminal organizations. So I could definitely see him like losing his arm in some type of skirmish at some point. We're going to be seeing the mechanic later on in season 6, so I'm excited for that. What happened to the golden weapons after season 10? The show really doesn't give an explicit answer to that. I think what happened was, like, since the actual golden weapons were kind of powerless after season 10, I think they melted them down again and just used the metal to create the new weapons that we see starting in season 11, because the weapons that we see starting in season 11 are kind of like half gold, half normal. I feel like they kind of melted down the golden material and kind of used that to make new weapons, kind of unpowered new weapons. At least that's just my explanation for it, just so I have some type of explanation of where the golden weapons went. Kind of helps me sleep at night. The new Disney Star Wars movies don't exist. I kind of like Force Awakens. I think that's genuinely good, but Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, nah. No. I saw both of them. I saw I saw Rise of Skywalker in the theater. That was easily one of my best theater experiences. I went with a couple of friends of mine, a group of 4, and everybody had a different reaction. I was laughing because I thought it was hilarious. The rest of the theater was crying. One of my friends was getting super angry that he stormed out and left, and the other one was asleep. So everyone had a different reaction to the Rise of Skywalker. Hilarious. Best theater experience ever. But no, I hate those movies. Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, not a fan. I thought they had good things in Force Awakens. I was genuinely excited to see what they had, even though I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan. I thought that Force Awakens was a genuinely good movie. That's why I have it on Blu-ray. I only have 2 Star Wars movies on Blu-ray. I have Force Awakens and Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith because it's hilarious and I love it. It's a bad movie, but it's still funny. But no, Force Awakens, I thought they actually had they actually had something going there, but they kind of kind of ruined it. One person who fell asleep was probably dreaming of a better version. Yeah, especially because he's the biggest Star Wars fan out of all of us, and he fell asleep during the movie. He just did not care halfway through and just decided to nap, which I don't blame him. We also saw Frozen 2 that same day, which also wasn't good. Am I gonna get some of the Ninjago X hype merch? Probably not. I mean, a lot of that hype clothing, it's not stuff that I would wear. In case you guys don't know my regular attire, it's basically it's like a t-shirt and shorts. So yeah, hype clothing doesn't really suit me. How do I not like Revenge of the Sith? Now, Revenge of the Sith is hilarious. It's not a good movie when you look at it, but it's funny, and that's why I have it. It's like the same, I guess, thing that I see Spider-Man 3 as, like the original Spider-Man 3. It's a bad movie, but it's funny. You hang out with your friends. When you guys are older, you can play some drinking games with the movie. It's a lot of fun. Like it's funny for that reason, but still not a good movie. How am I enjoying the Soundwave? It's awesome. In case you guys haven't been following my Instagram and Twitter, I'm a big Transformers fan. Been a Transformers fan all my life, and yesterday I just picked up the DLX Soundwave figure from the Bumblebee movie, and it's fantastic. Such a big figure. Apparently his eyes light up too, so um, ordered some batteries for that. Yeah, shorts in the middle of January. Yeah, I mean, go outside, t-shirt and shorts, and my slippers to check the mail. There's like 2 feet of snow on the ground. I don't care. I've been around snow and cold weather my entire life, so at this point, it doesn't really phase me. I bundle up obviously when it's like threatening weather. Like obviously if it's like -20 or 30, which it sometimes gets around here in certain parts. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna bundle up for that. But right now it's like 10 degrees outside. I don't care. I'll throw on shorts. I'm just going outside for a few seconds. Um, who do I like better, Cole or Skylar? I'd say Cole's the better character just because we had like a lot more chances to see Cole develop. Cole's been around since the beginning, and obviously with Cole, we got to see him grow a lot more than Skylar. I think Skylar has a lot of untapped potential in Ninjago. Skylar could easily be a member of the Ninja team if she wanted to, and I feel like she has a lot more potential than Cole does. But that's just because we've seen Cole a lot. We know what he's about. We know what he's capable of, and he still has a lot of development. And I think he's a better developed character than Skylar, just because he's been given a couple more chances. So I have to say Cole, just by default. Cole's still my favorite ninja. Have you seen WandaVision? Yes, I did. I've seen the episodes so far. I'm looking forward to where it's going, though. I have a couple of theories as to where the story's headed, and I can't wait to see how the story actually plays out. Have a lot of snow, and I always blame Zane for that. Yeah, I agree. Blaming Zane's fun whenever it snows. I remember up at my college, it was when I was still living on campus, obviously. It was in Marquette, Michigan, which, in case you guys don't know, is right near the tippy top of the U.S. It's like as close to Canada as you can get without being in Canada. You just have to jet across the lake, and there you go, you're in Canada. But yeah, since we were right on the big lake, Lake Superior, lots of snow, like mounds of snow, mountains of snow on campus, and it was really fun for a moment. Eventually, it started getting annoying, to dig out my car every day to go to work. But you know, we take what we can get. If you guys live around here, you know what I'm talking about. Snow is like it's fun while it starts, and eventually it's just like, ugh, sick of snow. Movie Destiny's Bounty or Ninjago City Gardens. I'm gonna be honest, I still have not made up my mind yet. I filmed the Gardens review. I'm gonna be uploading that later today for you guys. It's all said and done. Um, and I do a comparison in the video with the City Gardens and the movie Bounty, and I still don't know which one I enjoy more. I mean, the movie Bounty has been my favorite for so long, but the Gardens is so good, so much good stuff. So I'm gonna have to take a little bit more time to wait on that and actually come up with some type of answer. Did I watch Transformers Prime and did I watch Beast Wars? Yeah, those are two of my absolute favorite shows, at least in terms of Transformers. Beast Wars, I think, is my favorite. Out of everything in Transformers, I think Beast Wars is my favorite. I have the full box set on DVD because, of course, I don't have a Blu-ray release yet. But Transformers Prime, I want to get the full series of too, because Transformers Prime was fantastic. We need more series like that. The current Transformers shows are awful, in my opinion. So, I haven't been watching Transformers TV for a long time, ever since Prime ended, and the movies have been a mixed bag. Um, did I get season 14 pictures? Yeah, we can jump over to that for the remainder of the stream. I know we had them earlier, but we just got them, so let's just go ahead and jump back to those for the end of the stream. Um, But yeah, with the movies, they're kind of give or take. I think Bumblebee was a step in the right direction, and there's rumblings of a Beast Wars movie, which I'm really hoping for. Fingers crossed. Um, but no, Beast Wars is excellent. 10 out of 10. What would I do if Dareth became a ninja? I'd probably just deal with it and just kind of continue on from there. Um, it's not, I don't know, it's not like the worst thing ever, I suppose, but it's just not something that I would like to see happen, obviously. Um, Transformers 5 or The Rise of Skywalker. Oh, okay. Okay. So there's like they're both awful movies, but it's there's stuff that I like from both. Transformers 5 is one of the worst movies that I've ever seen in my life, but the only redeeming quality of that movie, in my opinion, is Megatron's design because Megatron looks amazing in that movie. Best live action Megatron design by far. I have the figure for Megatron from that movie. Movie itself is downright terrible. With Rise of Skywalker as well, I really enjoy the first scene with Kylo in what do you call it, in like Palpatine's little thing, like the dark, I don't even know what you would call it. I just thought that scene was really cool. Really good sound editing and whatnot, and then the rest of the movie is just garbage. So I don't know. Maybe I'd pick Rise of Skywalker because I've seen Transformers 5 a lot more than I've seen Rise of Skywalker. Do I think Twitchy Tim could be a keeper in disguise or someone from the season 15 wave? I've kind of seen a little bits of speculation on Twitter about this character Twitchy Tim. Apparently, his jacket is like a reference to a Pharaoh's Quest character with like the same logo and everything like that. If you guys don't know, Pharaoh's Quest was kind of like what do you call it? It was kind of like a theme way back in the day, kind of like mid 2000s as well, like 2009, 2010 ish, I think. So maybe he's from that theme, maybe from a different realm. I just think he's an ex-explorer that kind of got a got into a little bit of trouble on the Keeper's Island, and obviously with that, he's kind of traumatized and doesn't want to go back. um, this is a Ninjago stream, not Transformers and Star Wars. Not anymore. It's not. We already talked about the episode, and now it's Q&A, which is open to pretty much anything. Ferris Quest came out in 2011. Okay, yeah, I was never big into it, so the timeline's kind of fuzzy in my head. But yeah, the jacket is a reference to a Pharaoh's Quest character, I guess. And as I said, I'm not super into. I was never super into Pharaoh's Quest. I was always more into Space Police, Power Miners, Ninjago when it was first coming out, and Lego City Police. I was big into. Lego Movie 1 or 2, definitely the first one. The second one, I don't know. The second one's just forgettable in my opinion. Which Megatron is best? Like design wise, I don't know. Like Megatron from Transformers Prime is kind of like my ideal Megatron. He didn't turn into a gun, which I thought was good because I always thought the gun mode from Megatron was stupid. Imagine turning into a gun and then having one of your like lesser team members kind of swing you around and use you as a weapon. No, I'm not into that. I always thought that was really dumb in the original cartoon. It's classic, but it's not like it's stupid. I saw like a comparison one time that someone said, yeah, it would be like Darth Vader turning into his own lightsaber and then having someone else swing him around. And it's like, yeah, that sounds stupid. So yeah, I'm glad that Megatron nowadays has been kind of adapted into either like a jet or a tank. I think the tank is like a good compromise because it's still kind of like a gun on wheels. So, but it's a better vehicle mode than a gun. Like, just never really appealed to me. Again, it's classic, but you know, yeah, I guess we should clear that up too. Another tragedy in the Ninjago community with Jake from Ninjago kind of passing away earlier, and it's very heartbreaking again, but a lot of people are confused over who actually died. Jake's voice actor did not. The inspiration for Jake in real life unfortunately passed. So, yeah, it's very depressing. He was a good kid. And it's kind of taken the community by surprise as well. But so many people are confused over that, and Jake's voice actor did not die. The real life inspiration did, which again is very unfortunate. Some folks are confused though, so I figured I would just clear that up. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I figured I would just let you guys know because again, some of the chat's confused over who actually passed away, unfortunately. Will I do a Ninjago suit tier list? I'm going to be doing one eventually. Obviously, I need a little bit more time to make that video. With bigger videos like that, I tend to only do like a couple every week. This week's big video was the City Gardens, which took me a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it was overall just a big mess to edit. And that's going to be coming out later today. So in case you guys want to check out that, feel free. Put a lot of time into that one, more so than what I usually do. I think I was up until like 4 a.m. last night still working on that thing just to have it ready for today. Have I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? It's really good on Disney Plus. I watched a little bit of it, like the first couple of episodes, but I kind of fell out of that pretty quickly. It was never something that I kind of stuck around to watch, but I've gotten caught up with what's happened, so I know a little bit about it. I've just not watched it. With only a couple minutes left in the stream, why don't we jump over to rapid fire questions? Anything that I can answer in just a quick sentence or two as we round out the stream. It's a good way to end things off. So, what do you guys got for quick questions? Favorite character from Transformers Prime? You hate Cliff Jumper? What's wrong with Cliff Jumper? No, in Transformers Prime, my favorites were always RC. I loved Optimus as well. You know, Soundwave was super cool. Wheeljack. I'm a big Soundwave guy. Soundwave's like my favorite Transformers character. Gonna get a tattoo of Soundwave one day, but his inspiration or his incarnation in Transformers Prime was super good. Favorite Elemental Master apart from Skylar? I like Neuro. Neuro's cool. I thought Shade was cool. Ash is cool. Probably one of those. Cliff Jumper's death was so sad. Yeah, they took out Cliff Jumper pretty quick. Feel really bad for Cliff Jumper. And he was a cool character who was voiced by The Rock in like the first episode. When he appeared later on in flashbacks, he wasn't, of course, but Cliff Jumper had a lot of potential. And then he got turned into a Terracon zombie. So rest in spaghetti, Cliff Jumper. You will be missed. Ever heard of Star Wars: The Clone Wars? Yes, I have. My friends used to watch it a lot growing up, and they watch it now that it's come back for like the final season or whatever. I was never big into it though. Connect Cliff Gordon and Cliff Jumper as two deaths. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. It's the word cliff that's important there. Can you hug Waffle? I'll hug her after the stream. I have no idea where she is right now. How long is the City Gardens video? It's going to be about 45-ish minutes when it's finally done. I think it's uploaded right now, but it's still privated until later today. I'm going to be uploading that in approximately 2 hours from now. But yeah, it's about 45 minutes long. Going to be a long one, so if you guys are planning on watching that review, get some popcorn and get some cookies, because it's going to be a long time. Favorite Decepticon? Soundwave. By far. Soundwave is my favorite Transformers character. He's just so cool, no matter what version he's in. I like all the Soundwaves, except the one from the movie. The movie Soundwave sucks. Favorite cat from Fairy Tail? I'd say Panther Lily. He's cool. I like his buff form. Otherwise, Carla's cool too. I like her human form. Or Charles, whatever the Japanese name for her is. I always just called her Carla. Buff Zane or normal Zane? Gotta go with Buff Zane. I'm gonna start a petition. We need a Buff Zane big fig. That'd be awesome. We need to make Lego make that. People complain about not having a Ninjago CMF. We need a Buff Zane big fig. Movie ruined Ravage too. Yeah, I know. Revenge of the Fallen. Oh, another awful movie. God, the Transformers movies are not good, are they? I like the first one, and Dark of the Moon is good too. I think Dark of the Moon's a fun time. But I do agree, they do butcher a lot of the characters. The poor robots. Thank you, Michael Bay. What do I think the Ninjago Season 15 suits will be like? I think they're going to have some type of underwater aspect to it, maybe flippers or some type of breathing mechanism. I always thought that having the ninja wear like colored rebreathers would be cool with the same headband pieces from Season 14. But we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm fairly certain that we're going to be seeing a couple of those, though, in the next season. Maybe some type of aquatic theme, I'd say. Let's go ahead and answer one more question before we round things out here. I'm going to take a sip of my water in the meantime. I haven't taken a drink in a while, so I got too big into rambling about bad movies. Kind of want to talk Transformers a little bit too. Why don't we discuss that? A couple of people are asking me Transformers questions. I want to talk about Transformers really quick. Ironhide and Starscream. Ironhide's death in Dark of the Moon I thought was interesting. I mean, Ironhide's died before and stuff. The original '86 movie unceremoniously like killed off a lot of characters, including Ironhide. I really like Starscream's design in the movie though. I think it's a good design, like the Dorito shape. I think that design is super cool. It just sucks that it's supposed to be Starscream. I don't think that's a good design for Starscream, but I think it's a good design nonetheless. Overall, the movies I think have genuinely good designs. It just kind of sucks which characters they're attached to. I've seen a couple people say this, but you just take a bunch of jagged metal, slap a color on there, and then dig through the Transformers lore for a name. And yeah, that's very much what they do. Some of the characters have a little bit more of a say, again, like with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in the Michael Bay movies. You can tell that that's what they're supposed to be. But I think the Bumblebee movie does a fantastic job at actually making the characters look like themselves. Like Soundwave looks so good. I love Soundwave in the Bumblebee movie. Yeah, Ratchet died in the fourth movie. Ratchet's death was unfortunate. they kind of killed off a lot of the mainstay Autobots from the first movie. I miss Jazz, man. Where's the justice for Jazz? But yeah, we can pretty much wrap it up here before we go overtime. Talking about Transformers, maybe we can do that more tomorrow. But that'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream, guys. In terms of our streaming schedule, this is what we got going on. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will be updating this day by day. If there's ever a day where I cannot stream, I'll let you guys know. We can do the end of the stream tradition where we spam the word hug in the chat. Some of you guys have already gotten that started. Thank you very much. And yeah, we're going a little over time here, but kind of got wrapped up in some questions. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the stream. If you guys had any other questions, I mean, feel free to message me or DM me or whatever. I try to respond to DMs as soon as I possibly can. So thanks a lot for that, and thanks a lot for tuning in. That'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream today, guys. Yeah, exactly. Don't be a Dareth, especially after today's episode. Got a couple of more videos coming out today, including my review of the Ninjago City Gardens. That'll be going up in a little under 2 hours, so be sure to stick around for that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Public Enemy #1, and we will continue the streams from there this week. Thanks a lot for tuning in, you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for being awesome, and I will catch you guys in the next stream. Have a fantastic rest of